said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. You should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh no, no, no. Oh please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw it coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said,
Well, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Hope you are well. Thank you so much for joining me. Can we get a mic check, please? Mic check in the building. Great to see you all. Today is May 28th, 2023. We're almost to June. You all be safe. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it for becoming a member. Thank you so much. What did that say? Oh yeah, tomorrow is Memorial Day. Okay, Dizzle, thank you. I'll check that. I apologize for having to reschedule a few times. I lost every bit of the work that I did, and I had to re-edit everything. So that was fun. Lots of fun. So today we're going to be going back to the Summer Wells case. We're going to be discussing the unmasked interview, and I found the one with David Dodson, and I found the one with Allie and Leslie. The name of that song, AG, is I forget. I don't remember. It's in the bio. Yes. Thank you so much, Jessica. I get that. I get asked that all the time. So yeah. But we are going to go over some of it. Things that stuck out to me, but what I think everyone should do, because it's such a great interview. Hold on one second. That the links are in the description, and you can go there and watch them yourselves, because what may not stuck out to me something may stick out to you. It excuse me, it can be something very, very tiny in this case that really can change a lot. So without further ado, I wanted to show you guys something as well. And I need to give credit to Nana's Angels. Love Nana's Angels. If you haven't subscribed to her, please consider it. Is this at your house or is that the funeral home? Sorry, this is at my house. Yeah. Oh God, I know. I get a lot of that. But yeah, this is at my house. Death of the swing is important. Yeah, it really is. So Nana's Angels did a conversation with Don. And it just goes to show you what a freaking liar he is. Yeah, I mean, just what a freaking liar this man is. And he knows, it just shows you, in my opinion, that he doesn't take a lot of this seriously. He thinks it's funny. So, I'm not going to laugh at a funeral home. I mean, I can take you to the funeral home and show you around if that's what you want. All right. Let's do it. Credit goes to Nana's Angels.
What do you think of Tim Mullins?
Me? I told you what I think of Tim Mullins.
All right. Let me know if you can hear that, first of all. So AG, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, my love. I appreciate it. So this is Don just being Don. You know, he asked the question, what do you think of Tim Mullins? Well, I think, thank you for letting me know about the mic check. I think it's pretty resounding how the YouTube community feels about Tim Mullins, if you ask me. Oh, hindsight, you were in a very safe place. Not a lot of people break into funeral homes. So yeah, he's going to talk about just ridiculousness. And Nana's Angels titled this Dawn's Biggest Live Yet. You can check out the whole video over on her channel.
You know he's from KGB, right?
I don't care where he's from or what he does.
Yeah, he actually flew a jet to the United States to escape the KGB years ago.
Yeah, I can see Tim flying, a personal jet or fighter jet or whatever to escape the KGB.
That's how I met him.
Yeah, because Don was in, military or whatever, right?
So you've known him for years?
Yeah, when he escaped to our country in a stolen jet. He landed on USS Iowa. Oh shit, don't tell nobody about this shit, though, please.
I'm not.
Don't say shit about this. I can't believe I said that. Oh shit. No, I'm just kidding, Nana.
Yeah, he tells me, don't say nothing, don't tell nobody I said this.
He's an idiot. So most of those embalming rooms are in the garage, by the way, or the basement. Pardon me. So anyway, did you catch that in the stolen jet? Yeah, exactly. So this is good old Don, regardless of whether he's pulling someone's leg lying, it just shows you that he's a liar and that he lies about things that is not necessary. Okay, so what we are going to do, we're going to talk about, first, we're going to go over things that I thought in this interview was interesting that Allie said, that Leslie said, and then I clipped a few things that I thought David Dodson said. Now, it is sped up a little bit, so you got to listen, listen closely here. All right.
Actually was, because the current photos of the boys, they don't look like they have their head shaved anymore.
No, we had one lice incident when I was up there, and we cleared that up. And then when we stopped talking, all the kids were still on a virtual school until.
Okay, so that was before you guys were not friends anymore then?
Yep.
Okay. Was lice a common thing? Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Did Don ever shave his head too?
No. Not really.
Okay, I forgot to, there was this clip right here, and I forgot to find the picture, but the other day I showed a picture of Summer. It had to be within a close period of her going missing. And she was really short-haired, and her brothers had longer hair. And we had kind of always thought that they all just kind of had bald heads, around the same time. But Prayer Garden gave me a photo, and I showed it the other day, and it is a photo of Summer's bald head, and she's standing beside her brothers, and they have long hair. And I didn't pull it up, so I apologize for that. But why do you shave a little girl's head? Yeah, if there was lice, everyone would have it. Yeah, exactly. You would think. Joyce, I really have. I really have been burning the midnight oil a lot. And you just, this little girl was getting ready to go to school, right? Getting ready to go to school, and let me see if I've got to have it here somewhere, but was getting ready to go to school, and you think, a little girl, she's going to want to be like a princess with her other classmates and stuff, kindergarten special. And I'm trying to find it real quick, but if you go back to some of my other lives, I think the last couple lives, I don't want to hold us up too much on this. But clearly you can tell that make sure. No, let me just check one more place, and if not, I'm not gonna sit here and hold us up with it. Maybe it's right here. No. Oh, it knows me. I should have had it ready. I'm sorry, guys. That's not it. I've got so many photos. It's truly... that's one thing you got to give Candace is she did take a lot of photos. She did take a lot of photos. You can't knock her for that. I've got like literally like probably every photo that's out there. It's got to be here somewhere. She did TikToks. She did all that. Just 2 seconds. I swear I've got to have it. I got all kinds of pictures of the dirty house. Oh my God. I showed you the pictures of the bedroom the other day. Just filth. Okay, I can't find it at the moment. I'm not going to sit here. I'll look for it as we play on, but we'll get to it. All right.
Now, was that the only time that she picked up Hunter? Was just that one time to go to the swimming hole, or did they hang out often?
She used to bring the kids over here to the park across the street from me, and they used to play in the park.
Okay, so then you guys would hang out together, or the kids would go over and hang out at the park with her and her kids?
Yes, and there was a time when my oldest kind of snuck off and went up to her house with her best friend and spent the night there, and then she pissed my oldest off, and my oldest caught ways with her.
Is that recent?
Yep.
So recently, when this happened, Summer, okay, thank you, I see you. Not Summer, pardon me. Hunter and Allie's oldest, they had snuck up to the wells. Now, Hunter seemed to be talking to or being around the wells more often than I think we realized, even after Allie and Candace quit being friends. I think it was a lot more. And there is something in here in a little bit. You guys remember when Candace went over and went to Hunter's house? That was not supposed to happen. The day Summer went missing, they were supposed to cease contact. Cease contact. Well, we know for sure that incident happened. And then later on in this, David Dodson tells us something which it was within the first week of Summer going missing that Candace and H were talking again. Very, very important.
Grandmother, when Candace picked Hunter up, the grandmother was in the hospital to get her knee checked out.
Oh, okay. Okay. And what time was that at? What time did you come and pick up Hunter?
It was between 10 and 10:30 in the morning.
Come on, Bear. Okay. Candace and Summer.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know, did Hunter actually go fishing, or did they just swim? Did you ever find that out because she asked if you could go and go fish?
Hold on, this is going too fast. I didn't make it to go this fast. I don't know why it's going this fast. Let me fix something. Here, let me fix this so I can kind of slow it down just a little bit, because this is just going too fast for you guys to hear.
The grandmother, when they picked Hunter,
Okay.
the grandmother was in the hospital.
you'll get to see the unfiltered, but it'll be all right. We'll work it out.
Get her knee checked out.
Oh, okay. Okay. And what time was that at? What time did she come and pick up Hunter?
It was between 10 and 10:30 in the morning.
10 and 10:30. So the timeline that we have here, let me show you this. Is it showing it? Perfect. Okay. The timeline that we have here, per Candace, her and Summer Wells went to Holstein Valley Medical Center in Kingsport with Grandis and dropped her off while sitting in the parking lot waiting for Grandis to get done. H called her and invites her over. She told him as long as it's okay with his mom. So this, if Grandis got there at 8, it may have been after 8, maybe 8:30, maybe 9, but she would have she would have either had to sit in that parking lot for quite a while, or she would be kind of over at Allie's for a little while. No, because she arrives at Allie's at 10. Candace arrives at Allie's house. Yeah, so she would have had to been at the hospital at least an hour. Before she had went over to Hunter's. I mean, if she really got there at 8, that would have been 2 hours. She would have been hour and a half, 2 hours. She would have been waiting there. All right, let's carry on with this.
The grandmother.
Candace and Summer.
Okay, let me slow it down. Hold on 1 second.
Candace and Summer.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know, did Hunter actually go fishing, or did they just swim? Did you ever find that out? Like, because she asked if he could go and go fishing. Was there like fishing and swimming, or how did that work out?
From what they're telling us about what Hunter has told us, they just went swimming.
Okay. When you saw Summer in the backseat of the truck, do you know what she was wearing?
Ooh. I know she had a long sleeve pink shirt on.
In the car and wait for Candace.
Give me 1 second here.
In the car and wait for Candace. Do you know anything about the store trip?
He said that him and Summer were outside in the truck watching TikTok videos.
Okay. And did Grandma stay in the truck with them, or did Grandma go into the store with Candace?
Grandma went in the store with Candace, which I thought was kind of odd because we just got out of the emergency room with a sore leg. What are you doing in the store?
Which is an interesting thing, because you wonder, they say Candace has always stated that Grandis was at the watering hole. I don't feel like she was ever at the watering hole whatsoever that day, my opinion. But say that was true, she would have, when you get out of the hospital, particularly if they give you a shot, you're not feeling good in the first place. You got to not be feeling good to go to the hospital, right? Did Grandis actually go in that store and spend an hour? I'll show you some things on the timeline here in a little bit. I truly believe Hunter over Candace. I don't think it was 5 or 10 minutes. They got enough groceries to separate them. And, did Grandis ride in a wheelchair that day? In the store, did she ride one of those motorized wheelchairs, or did she just walk it? And then she felt like after all of that day, think about it, after leaving at 7:30 in the morning, going to the hospital, not feeling good, getting the shots, picking up her medicine, allegedly going to the watering hole, going and getting the groceries and all that. She wanted to get home and wanted to plant flowers. Not a chance in my mind, at least. Not a chance.
Did Hunter say if Grandma went to the swimming hole with them? Like, did they go pick up Grandma and then go to the swimming hole?
He didn't say.
Okay.
He didn't say. Interesting.
Do you know the
Okay.
name of the grocery store they went to?
Oh, hold on, let me fix this.
It was priceless.
Priceless.
So we're kosher on the grocery store.
Okay, so
Now there,
go ahead.
there is rumor going around that Candace gave your son alcohol at the swimming hole. Is that true?
Yes, that is very true.
Notice how Allie doesn't seem enraged at all. She doesn't seem to. Yep, that is very true. She did give my mind. I'd have been like, yeah, and she's never going to see him again. Yes, Mountain Cat. Yes.
I know Melissa had something else because she's frozen on my screen. I don't know if she's frozen for you guys, but
Yeah, I was frozen for a second.
okay. So how far from the swimming hole to your house, approximately, like time-wise or mile-wise?
I'd say about a 15, 20-minute drive, depending on which direction you take in traffic.
Would the grocery store be on the way from the swimming hole to your house?
Yes.
So it would make sense in your mind that she would stop at the store before bringing Hunter home and then driving home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhat, but there's several grocery stores from here to her house.
Now, she was allegedly seen, from what I have heard, that day at the grocery store. Why does Candace do the things she does? Who knows, right? But she did, from what we know, she did stop at. To be honest with you, I don't think she really cared that much either. But she just kind of let him do his thing. So, oh well.
Okay. So that she could have dropped him off and then went to the grocery store and then went home.
Yep.
Okay. So,
I mean, I still think it's odd. Like, why would two people go into the grocery store and a teenage boy and a 5-year-old girl sit out in the hot? There wasn't air conditioning or anything. Why would they just sit out there for an hour? Why wouldn't they just go in where it was air conditioning? Like, it's hot. So you're just going to sit there for an hour in the sweltering heat, particularly when Summer has long sleeves, on, it's definitely not summer clothes she was wearing. Very odd to me, personally.
one of the things that's been talked about is that Hunter said that Summer had fallen asleep in the car during the ride home. Was that because he was watching TikTok videos with her at the grocery store? Then she fell asleep after on the way from the grocery store to home, or had she been in and out of sleep, or how what do you know about that?
He said that she just fell asleep right after, they were watching on TikTok videos and she fell asleep because she was tired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There was another thing too, that Summer had went underwater for almost a minute.
Okay, this is, I think, a very important thing. They clear it, Allie and Leslie kind of clear it up. Well, what they say, at least. But we know about like the 10 to 15, 20 seconds of Summer going underwater, but there is a little bit of add on to this.
In the car and wait for Candace. Do you know anything about the grocery store trip?
He said that him and Summer were outside in the truck watching TikTok videos.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. It'll get to it.
And did Grandma stay in the truck with them, or did Grandma go into the store with Candace?
Grandma went in the store with Candace, which I thought was kind of odd because we just got out of the emergency room with a sore leg. What are you doing in the store?
Did Hunter say if Grandma went to the swimming hole with them? Like, did they say Hunter had drink?
Let me slow this.
That Hunter had drink?
It wasn't him?
Yes.
It was okay.
And Candace keeps changing her stories. Like every day it's a different story. And they don't add up.
Do you know, had she given him alcohol before?
Okay. Let me go back to, because I don't know if I didn't clip it the right way. Because I lost it all and I had to redo it again. But in this interview, you can go listen to it. The link is in the description for the full interviews. They say that Hunter saw Summer go under the water for about 10 to 20 seconds. But the reason she went underwater was because she slipped on a rock. Now, I don't ever remember hearing that from any other person, but in the interview, they say that Hunter had checked on her after she got out of the water and that she was okay. So there's that. Okay, now where we just left off here, she's talking about had Candace ever given any illegal substances, alcohol, vapes for a minor? And look at Leslie's face here. It's funny.
Do you know?
Not that I can really say.
Okay.
Not that she can really say.
You were there when he returned home. Did he seem like he was intoxicated, or like that he would have had like
No,
any
he was
form
a
of
perfect
altered?
picture.
Now,
Okay.
Candace,
So he didn't seem intoxicated once he got home. He said she was okay, but he is not a doctor. He may have said that on a different interview, but he didn't say it on the Unmasked. At least Allie didn't. But he said that on Chris's. I got what you're saying. Yeah. Allie answered that in a different way. She said, not that I can. What did she say? Not that I can really say. Which, to me, sometimes your non-answer is an answer. You know, it's like, I can't comment on that, or I cannot confirm or deny. You're kind of like, okay, I got you.
picked up your son. So they went back to the hospital to get the grandma. How far of a...
Hold on. Let me slow this down.
Now,
Okay. Okay.
So they went back to the hospital to get the grandma. How far of a ride is the hospital from your house?
About a 5-minute ride.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't out of the way.
It's literally like right around there and up the road from me.
So basically, when Candace would have left to go to H's house, it's like right there. It's not like a 30-minute drive or anything. It's literally like you can throw a stone at it almost.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's all that's making sense. It's so much easier when you actually can like envision how far things are from each other.
Yeah, but now,
Okay.
Candace picked up your son. So they went back to the hospital to get the grandma. How far? Now,
Okay.
Why does she
Candace
keep doing
picked
that?
up. It's because remember Candace did say they got there at 12:21.
Yes, that's when she took the video.
No, the video was at 3:09 p.m.
No,
She said they got
I'm sorry, the video of her swimming, the swimming video, right? Remember she said she knew the time because that's how she took it off of the swimming video.
The picture.
That's how she was
the
so
picture,
precise. Yeah, where she was actually swimming.
But they picked up her son at about 10 o'clock. So what did they do for 2 hours before they went to the swimming hole? At
Allie,
the
do you have
hospital.
an
That right now we can't really discuss because
Okay.
that was part of the interrogation.
Okay.
So at that time, she said, we cannot really discuss that, because we picked him up. Candace let me show you. Picked him up at about 10 to, we'll just say 10 to 11. But anywhere from 10 to 11, they do a few things that now we know. Now, I don't know why Allie says, we can't discuss that. Maybe they didn't want, TBI didn't want anyone talking about it at that time. But that's when they pick Grandis up. They go to the Walgreens. They go to the discount tobacco store and get their puff vapes and all that. And that is when what else? Swimming. Yeah, I think that's all the places they went, right, Sheila? So I mean, at minimum, that would have taken an hour and 20 minutes to pick up Grandis, go to the pharmacist or go to the vape store, the discount tobacco. I think they went to two of them, right? And they got the twisted tea as well, and to Walgreens. And then at 12:21 is when that photo of Summer in, that TikTok photo of, H throwing the gang signs and all that. Guys, do me a favor if you don't mind. Please hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. We as creators need it more than ever now. It's very important to our channel. We work on thumbs up and all of that. So thank you. Yeah. Oh, we only have 150 likes. Come on, please, guys. Please. We work really hard. If you don't mind, I would appreciate it. Okay. Let me slow this down. Okay. So Allie says that Candace was telling her that she was planting flowers on the opposite, I guess, side of the house, or it could have been on Grandis's side, but she said that's where Donnie kept his work tools. Now, I don't know where Don kept his work tools. Maybe someone could answer that in the chat. Guys, please, if you have a disagreement with someone in chat, please email them. I like to keep it classy here. We don't need to be attacking anybody or anything like that. If you want, like a trash channel or something like that, that would be the farm channel. That's where that would be. But we keep it classy. So thank you. But yeah, just one of those things that, Allie thought it was suspicious. I don't know. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think that the flowers ever happened that day, in my opinion. That's my opinion. You can have yours, I have mine, but I feel like there was nothing, no flower planting that day. There was dang weeds in the little barrels or planters that was in there, and it didn't look like it was anything in there that day. I think it was a thing to fill 30 to 45 minutes is what Candace said. Now, me, I love to garden. Probably it's one of my favorite things to do in the world. Now, if it takes you 30 to 45, 50 minutes to fill a planter and stick 2 succulents in it, cacti, and put some rocks on it, well, you're slower than we thought, in my opinion. But there's no conceivable way that it would take that long to do something like that. Yeah, 10-minute max. That's just filler. That's all it is. That's it. So this was another thing that I don't think it has anything to do with Summer's case, but I think it has to do with, in my opinion, the behavior of Candace. I think Candace, most two important people is Dawn and Grandis. And I think anybody that took attention away from Candace, meaning Rose, Summer, because Dawn was he was daddy's little girl, so to say. Allie says it in this video. People say that, Dawn was closer to Summer than the boys. I think Candace is extraordinarily jealous of anything. And I don't mean this in a rude way or anything, but I just don't think she's mentally capable of knowing much different. I think she's, kind of on the teenage, kind of spectrum there. My opinion. Come on. Slow down, man. Oh, I'm not showing.
See if there's anything else.
Yeah, but anyways,
Now, they both took polygraph tests.
Well,
Did
they've said they took polygraph tests and they have said that they have passed, but we have not heard the confirmation from law enforcement on that.
Okay, so in 2 different areas, in two different interviews that I'm going to show you in this, they say virtually the same thing.
If she
Right.
passed the polygraph, why did she call your son? in the cop car stating, I failed a polygraph test. I have to go take another one.
So, Leslie just says in that interview, well, if she passed the polygraph, then why did she say she failed it while she was in the back of the car calling H? Well, that's a good question. Why would she call? First of all, why would she call, a 14 or 15-year-old child at the time and say this to him? And listen to what Leslie says.
I'm going to the police station.
To take another one, or
Yeah, because she
Yes, to
failed.
take another one.
So Candace is in the back of the cop car. She's crying. She calls Hunter. He is at work at the time, and that's why he called Allie and Leslie and said, Candace called me. What do I do? But, it just makes you wonder why Candace is calling a 15-year-old. That she was going, I guess, down to take another polygraph.
So she
So
And
she's
then
called
the next
Hunter.
day after they questioned Hunter, she showed up here, her and her mother, to question Hunter on what they said, which is illegal.
So that's where Candace allegedly went over to H's house, according to Allie and Leslie, and, is asking around, hey, what did the TBI ask you? Can't do that. In my mind, right there, she should have been arrested for that.
Wow.
well, that's interesting. So she was on her way to the police station to take her second polygraph.
Yes. Because she failed the first one.
And she called your son to tell him that.
Yep.
While he was at work.
While he was at work.
She called Hunter and told him that while he was at work.
Because he called us at work wanting to know what he's supposed to do.
He called Leslie or Allie from work, saying what he's supposed to do. This is way too much to put on, like a 14 or 15-year-old teenager. I wonder if they are playing with words. They passed the polygraph, but did they succeed? Good question. It is very inappropriate, stars. Well, Ruby, that's the thing. Usually it is a one and done. No exception, no bueno, nothing after the first polygraph. Zero. You don't get another one. You don't, pass go. You don't collect $200. It is what it is. In this case, they gave Candace 2 different days. 2 different, 2 different polygraphs, 2 separate days.
Honestly, I'm trying to hold out hope.
Hold on, let me slow this one down now.
Honestly, I'm trying to hold. I'm trying to hold out hope the best I can. Go ahead, Leslie. I'm sorry.
I told her grandmother and her mother that I didn't like her because of the way she done her kids. The first time I met Allison was at Allison's birthday party. They had a little pool out back for the kids to play in. Her 2 boys was horse playing. Okay, that's what you're going to do in a swimming pool. And because they was horse playing, she got mad at them, made them get out of the pool from being wet and lay on hot pavement with their stomach against the hot pavement.
Now, this is the second time that Leslie has mentioned this story, that 2 of the boys was in the back. Kids are horse playing. That's what they do in the pool, right? That's what kids do. And Candace didn't like it. So she made them get out, sit their bellies on hot pavement. If that is true, that's inconceivable. Inconceivable. You know, I played a video here the other day. It was Summer. She was squealing. She was so happy because kids, you know, when you drive through a tunnel, you're on a trip or you live in an area where there's a tunnel. Well, they were going somewhere and Summer squeals, you know, like a kid does. A kid does. This is excited about a tunnel. And I don't know if it was Candace or Grandis, but she says, Summer, you scream like that again, I'm going to belt your ass. The kids you're just driving through a tunnel. That's it. You're going to belt her ass for screaming or, you know, squealing in excitement. You belt the child's ass for squealing in excitement. How are you going to treat the kid? And listen, you know what? I have bad days. You have bad days. We need, you know, to give each other a little bit of a break, a little bit of a leniency sometimes. And that goes for our kids too. One day they just may not be feeling good. They just may not be in, give them some leniency. They're just little human beings that grow up into be big human beings. But all she was doing was just, can you imagine your kids excited? They're going somewhere. They're going through a tunnel. She's a baby. And your mom or your grandma saying, I'm going to belt your ass? For what? If you'll belt their ass for that, what else are you going to do? In my opinion.
This was
And I got
she made all the boys do that, or just
do what?
she made all the kids do that, or just one?
2 of her boys. And it made me mad, and I went and told Allison the pool was going to get emptied because those kids are not going to get hurt by her doing stuff like that to them.
Leslie never liked Candace. And, you know, if Leslie is telling us what is true, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. And rest in peace, Leslie.
To be planting together?
I thought that was kind of odd. Because when I talked to her the night she went missing, she told me that they were on the side of the house planting flowers. Well, no one goes on that side of the house to play or plant flowers or do nothing because that's where Donnie kept his work stuff.
Okay, I may have put this one twice. Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Really appreciate it.
I had read somewhere that that area was kind of like a memorial for Rose.
No, they don't have no memorial for Rose up at the house.
Do you know if they were making one? Like, was that maybe that was the purpose of the planting? Was they were making a memorial for Rose?
No. See, Mom Candace and Candace both have different feelings about Rose. Her mom misses Rose to death.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As her daughter. She's very sentimental when it comes to, like, the day she disappeared on her birthday. Candace would get drunk and say, what are you crying for? The bitch is dead. The bitch is dead. Like, how do you know your sister's dead?
Wow.
Why would you call your sister that's been missing a bitch?
Very interesting question. Did you ever ask her?
She said, because I just know she's dead. Like, okay, how do you know she's dead? And then she wouldn't talk about it.
Now, Candace was not living in Wisconsin when she disappeared, right? Or was she living there at the time?
I'm not aware of that.
To the house when Don wasn't around?
Well, there's this one incident last summer before Donnie went to Utah. We were at the Shell station in Dunkin' Donuts, and we're getting stuff for the kids for the day because we're going to go to.
Okay, now listen to this. So, Allie and all of them, they were at the Shell station. They're getting, you get drinks, you get soda, you get some snacks or whatever before you go to, if you're going out on a summer day, you're going to the lake, you're going to the pond or fishing or swimming or whatever you do. And listen to what Candace does. And I said this again. And we just talking about like we did the other day. This is when Dawn and Pam, this is how they met Candace. They would bring Leslie, not Allie. Allie's still alive, thank God. Leslie passed, rest in peace. But this is how Dawn and Pam met Candace. Dawn would bring, people home that were particularly homeless. He would let them stay there, live outside, live on literally the rooftop. And I told you 2 of the guys that are the sickest of the sick that lived, with them and or married into the family. The one, how could I put this? I'll just put SO. He's actually an R rapist. He married into the family, right? But it just shows you who they will bring home at any time. And she's going to tell you about it. And they brought Jose home. Well, they didn't bring Jose home. He stayed from Tennessee because he didn't want to go back to New York. But, again, Candace did not know Jose from Adam. I mean, I think Jose was a decent human being. He had his flaws like anybody else. But, you just don't bring, and especially it was just Candace, and the kids there. It could have been a serial killer. But listen to what Candace does.
To the Warriors, and we're gonna let the kids go swimming and play in the playground, have a picnic. And Candace started talking to some strange dude who was a tool, and we thought she was gonna leave him there. And she drives around, picks the guy up, and invites him to go to Warriors with us. I'm like, oh my God, this woman's nuts. And then she brings him up to her house.
I'm gonna play that again.
Talk to some strange dude who was a tool, and we thought she was gonna leave him there. And she drives around, picks the guy up, and invites him to go to Warriors with us. I'm like, oh my God, this woman's nuts. And then she brings him up to her house.
So Candace brings, they're picking up snacks and stuff, and they're getting all ready to go to Warriors. And Candace hop in the car. Yes, stranger danger. Hop in the car, takes him to Warriors, then brings him home. Come on home. Which we know of Dawn bringing home women and doing things while Candace and everyone's sleeping downstairs, and train hoppers and all that. They both brought people home.
And then when her husband came home from work, he's like, oh, who's this? She goes, oh, this is Sherry's boyfriend.
So when Dawn comes home, Dawn's asking, hey, who's the strange guy? And Candace says, oh, that's Sherry's boyfriend, which is Allie's mother.
Are you kidding me right now? Like, why not tell your husband? Like, why not tell your husband, like, oh, I just picked this dude up on the side of the road?
And was that common?
No, that was the first time she'd done it in front of me.
That's okay. That's I don't.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to that, Allie. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, nobody knows what to say.
And that was your mom's boyfriend now, apparently.
Yeah, Sherry had a boyfriend and she didn't even know it.
Okay. Let's see, Melissa. Oh, I don't know if you would know if she has been taking anything since this. I don't know if because your communication hasn't been there, but do you happen to know?
Let me slow this down.
Oh, I don't know if you would know if she has been taking anything since this. I don't know if because your communication hasn't been there, but do you happen to know?
Nope. But it just strikes me as odd that she wasn't showing any kind of emotion.
She wasn't showing any emotions, and she called to tell you about Summer.
She wasn't even showing any emotions the night when I got to talk to her when Summer was missing.
So they say that Allie, when Summer went missing, Allie was obviously talking to Candace that night, and she says, in her opinion and Leslie's opinion, that Candace wasn't really showing any emotion. Also, if you believe Fred Hill, there's different accounts, and collectively there are some universal things that they say together. And one is, a few hours after Summer went missing, Dawn went to Fred's, and Fred said, he's already talking about, I'll see her in the resurrection. Well, this is about 11 o'clock. The police officers are outside. Candace is inside, FaceTiming Allie, and she's in there, playing with her hat, and she didn't really seem upset in her opinion.
She went missing.
The night she went missing, when I was talking to Candace on the phone, she wasn't even on video. She was pacing back and forth in her kitchen, fiddling with her hat on her head.
Pacing back and forth with her hat on her head, fiddling with it.
And yawning. She wasn't crying or nothing. If that was my kid, I'd be crying my eyes out.
So you talked to Candace on June 15th that night?
Yes, I was at the ball field at, let's see.
She called at 7:29.
She called my son.
Hunter. She called Hunter. It's about 15 after 7. And Hunter called my phone at the ball field at 7:29. And then
Hunter called Leslie. I think she tried to get hold of Allie. It didn't go through, so she called Leslie. And that was at 7:29. So that is almost an hour, precisely almost an hour after the first 911 call came in. Now, after Summer went missing, Candace is calling Allie. She's calling Hunter. She's calling Robin. She's calling Tim, not Tim. We're going to hear from him in a minute. The flute guy. Can't think of his name. David. So she's just making a bunch of calls.
When we got back, we were sitting here talking, and then Candace called on Snapchat on video.
This is Leslie talking. Candace called on Snapchat on video after they got home from the ball field.
I got booted out of my own stream, sorry.
About 11 something, close to 12.
11 o'clock, 12, close to 12. Between 11 and 12.
On video.
Does she normally call on video?
Nope. And I started asking her questions. I'm like, what were you guys doing? How did she become missing? What did you guys, what were they doing and stuff? And that's when she started giving me the story about them planting flowers and going in the camper, washing their hands, getting candy. And then she walked from the trailer to the house, and then it was all crazy. She never showed any ounce of emotion.
And then you asked where her mom was at, and she said she's outside talking to the police because I'm not talking to them.
And then that's the interesting part. Leslie says that Grandis is actually outside talking to the police, that she says Candace says because she's not talking to him. I personally personally believe that part. I personally believe Leslie because Candace doesn't want to talk to anybody at all. You're interrogating me. You know that.
Now, do you know if the neighbors did see anything or hear
Talking to the police?
anything?
Nope, I haven't heard anything.
Do you know anyone that rides a Harley with saddlebags?
Nope.
Now, I had never heard of the Harley with saddlebags. I don't know what that's referring to. Maybe it was someone in their chat talking, potentially. All right, now we're going to move, I think, to David Dodson.
Walk, she does limp.
Okay, make sure this is.
Walk, she does limp. Okay. But as far as I haven't really heard him, have heard that, people, saying, oh, how she can complain if she has a hurt knee. And I don't know anything about her going to the emergency room that day that Summer went missing.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've heard this.
Oh.
So David Dodson was at the house that night, and he was at that house all week, within the first week of Summer going missing. And that's exactly right, Michelle. Why would a mother of a missing child not want to talk to law enforcement? Why did she not do an interview for nearly 2 weeks with the media? That's the question. But David Dodson is there the night Summer goes missing. And this interview is done a significant, I don't know if it's significant, but I don't know when this interview is really done, but it was at least a few weeks after Summer went missing. And he still hasn't heard that Grandis went to the hospital that morning, which I find odd. You would think he would know either the whole story or why hasn't that been told to him? Just interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one of the things that Candace had said was that she'd gone to the emergency room that morning.
So that when Don took his, he told me they gave him like 3 or 4 different lie detector tests all in the same day.
Okay. So David Dodson is saying this is about the lie detector part. He says that they gave Don a few different lie detector tests that day. Now they can give you, there's different types of lie detector tests, right? There's the voice, and there's, the one that checks your blood pressure, and they put all the stuff around you. So Don tells him that they give him a few different lie detectors test the same day. Listen to Candace.
And he passed. Then
and according to Don, he passed.
First time that Candace took her lie detector test, and this is what she told me. Okay, she said that she was very tired, and the investigator who was giving the exam to her.
Make sure. So she was very tired when.
So that when Dawn took, she was very tired, and the investigator who was giving the exam to her.
So Candace says, and David Dodson states, this is what she, meaning Candace, told me. She was very tired, and she hadn't slept, right?
Obviously, she was just, very nervous.
Very nervous.
She did tell me that she there were a couple of areas that showed deception.
There were a couple of areas that showed deception.
And they talked to Candace about it, and they said, tell you what, we just they contributed it to her maybe being tired.
He says that Candace says that they attributed it to maybe her being tired. They talked to her about it.
And she was very stressed out because they had been interviewed for hours and hours and hours. So what they told Candace to do is to tell you what, we want you to go home for the weekend, and on Monday we want you to come back.
So they wanted to go home, get some rest over the weekend and come back. We need 20 more likes. Yay! Thank you guys. At least 20 more likes. Appreciate it. So usually they don't give more than one lie detector test. You get one shot. Now, it appeared as, I think that they were probably both on drugs, in my opinion, whenever Summer went missing. Drinking, you can't take blood pressure medication, you can't take antidepressant, and that goes for prescription drugs, right? Dunn said they didn't take one. The first day they went to the police station because they were upset. Yeah, telling different stories since day one. But also, there's that, I don't know if it was the TBI agent that literally pushed Candace up against the car and asked her, what did she do? What did you do?
And that's what she did. She came back on that Monday, I believe it was a Monday, and she passed with flying colors.
And Candace told David, allegedly, she passed with flying colors after her weekend of rest.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. I'm just trying to look for some questions. Just entered was. Do you happen to know, or when you got to the house on the 15th, were you told if Grandma Candace had gone swimming to the swimming hole that day, or had gone out on errands that day with Candace? And
let me slow this down because we're getting to what
I'm just trying to look for some questions. Just entered was.
What I feel
just entered was
very important.
Do you happen to know, or when you got to the house on the 15th, were you told if Grandma Candace had gone swimming to the swimming hole that day, or had gone out and run errands that day with Candace and Summer?
I do not recall about what happened to Grandma or where she was during the time. I know Candace was showing officers and myself.
Listen to this. He doesn't know where Grandis is. But listen to this. And he's going to reconfirm, and they're going to clear this up. This is what makes me go.
Videos that they had of the boys and Summer swimming. I know they had gone swimming earlier that day.
Of the boys and Summer going swimming that day. The boys, plural, and Summer going swimming that day.
But as far as the grandmother, that I do not. I don't know any information on that.
Okay.
They don't have any information on that.
No worries. Have you met Rose Meyer? Met the boys outside of church? Have you ever met the kids outside of church? Have you guys ever gone and done anything together?
Let me slow this down. So, isn't that interesting? Now, they go back and they clarify what he means. Because some people might have thought, well, he might have meant boy, meaning H, and Summer. But he'll clarify it. What Candace told him, meaning David, and a police officer. Guys, do me a favor if you don't mind. Hit that thumbs up button. It's very important to the channel. Very, very important. And if you decide on becoming a member, I would really appreciate it. It really helps my channel out. And I'm very thankful for each of you for just being here today.
Kids outside of church, had you guys ever gone and done anything together?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Somebody they were asking that one. Let me see. A lot of people would like to help send them stuff. Have you ever met the young boy that went swimming with them that day?
Okay. Have you ever? I'm gonna say
met the boys outside of.
Have you ever met the boy H of being? Or have you ever met H outside anytime, really? And listen to what he says. This is where I told you we're going to come back. And remember when I said Candace, went to H's house and talked to him. Well, she wasn't allowed to do that. But listen to what David says.
The young boy that went swimming with them that day. We try not to say his name because he's young.
I know who you're talking about. No, I have never met him.
Okay. Or any of his family members?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Candace was talking to him on she was FaceTiming with him one day when I was over there.
So David had never been to Don and Candace's house. He had to get directions to get there the night Summer went missing. He says he's never met H, but that Candace was there at the house talking to H within the first week of Summer going missing. Robin did call him to go up. They went up together, yes.
And I saw, Candace said, "Hey, this is our friend David," and then she goes, "Hey, David, this is," and I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
This is so and so, but that's the only time that I'd ever had ever met him.
Okay.
But
about how long? Do you know how long ago that was? Because I know that Candace had said that the families have a very strained relationship.
It was probably and don't hold me to it. It was probably within the first week that Summer went missing.
Within the first week that Summer went missing. So now we know that there was at least 2 encounters that Candace was talking to Hunter. Let's play this again.
Have you ever met the kids outside of church? Had you guys ever gone and done anything together?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Somebody they were asking that one. Let me see. A lot of people would like to help send them stuff. Have you ever met the young boy that went swimming with them that day? We try not to say his name because he's young.
I know who you're talking about. No, I have never met him.
Okay. Or any of his family members?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Candace was talking to him on she was FaceTiming with him one day when I was over there.
She was FaceTiming with him one day when he was over there. Interesting. So we know that she went over there as well to see what TBI had told, or what he had told TBI, H had told TBI. And within the first week, Candace was talking to H on FaceTime.
And I saw, Candace said, "Hey, this is our friend David," and then she goes, "Hey, David, this is," and I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
This is so and so, but that's the only time that I'd ever had ever met him.
Okay. About how long? Do you know how long ago that was? Because I know that Candace had said that the families have a very strained relationship.
It was probably they don't hold me to it. It was probably within the first week that Summer went missing.
Okay. Let me see. Let me just try to make
Someone
sure.
wants to know if they can send them forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Community search parties yet.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
And
Okay,
I believe TBI's number is just 1-800-TBI find.
I believe you are correct on that, ma'am.
Yes.
Natalie would like to know, do you happen to know if the boys actually saw Summer inside the house that day?
From what I was told by the parents from Candace is that they saw Summer walk in, but the boys have not told me that directly. But
Interesting. So Candace said that the boys had seen Summer walked in. We know that, but the boys never told him that directly. That's an interesting statement there. The boys had never told him directly. Now, David had also, actually, the day of this interview, he took the boys out and, did the golfing and all that. And I'm sure they had talked and all that. But the boys never stated whether they saw their sister or not.
Candace told me that the boys said that they saw Summer walk in.
Autumn is asking you. Autumn is asking you. You happen to mention a video that you had seen of Candace showing the Summer and the boys were swimming.
Yes.
Do you know?
Sorry, thank you. I'm going to play this back. So this is very important. This is where there's clarification on whether Candace states to David and a police officer. My voice is back, right? Okay. Whether it's just Hunter and Candace or the boys and Summer. Sorry. Scratch that. Whether it's Hunter and Summer or the boys and Summer and Hunter.
You happen to mention a video that you had seen of Candace showing the Summer and the boys were swimming.
Yes.
Do you know, was that all of her boys or was that the young boy we were talking about?
The video I saw was of Summer and her three brothers, but not the other young man.
Was it from that day or from a totally separate time that you'd seen that video?
That's that video that she showed me was the day she showed me that day that Summer went missing.
Okay. Did she say it was taken that day or it was taken a different day?
Yes, ma'am. It was taken that day. Okay. They had gone out there swimming.
Okay.
Someone in chat had asked, because there's a rumor going around that Grandma Candace had left town. Is she?
Autumn is asking, you happen to mention a video that you had seen of Candace showing the Summer and the boys were swimming.
Yes.
Do you know, was that all of her boys or was that the young boy we were talking about?
The video I saw was of Summer and her three brothers, but not the other young man.
Was it from that day or from a totally separate time that you'd seen that video?
That's that video that she showed me was the day she showed me that day that Summer went missing.
Okay. Did she say it was taken that day or it was taken a different day?
Yes, ma'am. It was taken that day. Okay. They had gone out there swimming.
Okay.
Someone in chat had asked, because there's a rumor going around that Grandma.
Sorry. what David is saying there is Candace shows the boys and Summer swimming that day to him and a police officer. So that's interesting. Now, David could be confused. They may have not had their story straight. We do know that the TBI told Don and Candace to get their story straight, to get their timeline straight. Study tips, they showed it to everyone that day and lied to everyone. This is why he thought that. I don't think Dudley had any. No. Dudley didn't. I don't think so at all. I don't think Dudley had anything to do with it, in my opinion. I don't think David had anything to do with it, in my opinion. I don't think Jose had anything to do with it, in my opinion. I don't think Jody Sue had anything to do with it, in my opinion. I think there is 1 to 3 people on that hill that has something to do with it, knows something, about Summer.
Candace had left town. Is she
And Summer wanted to go inside her house and play.
Okay, listen to this.
So Candace watched Summer walk from the camper into the front door. And she watched her walk into the house. The brothers were in there. And I can't recall, they might have been on the internet or they might have been watching TV. I apologize. I can't remember exactly what she said. And she said that the brothers came in or Summer came in and the brothers saw Summer go down into the basement to play. And then Candace said that, a few minutes later, I think so maybe like 20 minutes later.
Hear that?
Minutes later, I think so maybe like 20 minutes later, she came in looking for Summer and the boys told
20 minutes later.
TV. I apologize. I can't remember exactly what she said. And she said that the brothers came in or Summer came in and the brothers saw Summer go down into the basement to play. And then Candace said that, a few minutes later, I think so maybe like 20 minutes later, she came in looking for Summer and the boys told Candace that Summer was down in the basement. Candace went down there and Summer was gone. Keeping in mind that there's the front door of the house, and down in the basement there is a door that leads to the outside. So those are the only 2 doors that are in and out. And as far as and that's when she notified the police when they could not find her.
Did they tell you if the basement door was open or closed or locked or?
They told me it was locked, and the children even told me that it was locked.
They told. So Candace told David that the door was locked. He also said the children said the downstairs door was locked as well. Replay this real quick. This little part.
As far as and that's when she notified the police when they could not find her.
Did they tell you if the basement door was open or closed or locked or?
They told me it was locked, and the children even told me that it was locked.
They told me it was locked, and the children even told me it was locked.
So with that, the front door was the only way in or out.
The front door, or it was the only way that was out. You could get out.
And can she reach that lock down there, or does she know how to unlock it?
That I do not know. I've not actually been in the basement myself. I don't know how it's set up down there. But as far as one of the sons did tell me that the door was locked while she was down there.
One of the sons told him that the door was locked down there.
And Summer's mom, she confirmed that with me because that was one of my things. So I don't know if Summer went in there and the boys were playing, that she came back out.
So I mean, according to Candace's story, 2 to 5 minutes or whatever that she was over at Grandis's, I mean, is the kidnapper going to, lock the door back, or even if it's possible to lock the door back, and fight a struggling, kid kicking and screaming, right? And run down that hill and get in some type of vehicle. Yeah, possibly with a sofa in front of it, that girl. Yes. Yeah. I think, there is accounts, I'll say rumors to be safe, that Candace said that she went inside and that Summer was outside, and she was inside a few minutes and she came outside and she was gone. To me, that's more believable. But in my mind, my theory is that they wanted it to make it to sound like there was an abduction, more of not that she wandered off, because they have always said from the get-go that she had to been taken. She would never wander off. So if you're inside and then you're suddenly gone, you conveniently go downstairs and you're there, less than, I mean, okay. So if you're gone, 2 minutes, over there, 5 minutes max, you're not going to be, walk all the way over, tell your boys they're going downstairs or whatever, or she goes downstairs. You're not going to be down there but seconds to maybe a minute or two max, and then you're going to be abducted. So in my mind, this story fit better in my theory that she had to be abducted. Had to be abducted. What about the picture Candace took in the house at 609 of one of the other kids, and you could see part of Summer off from standing there? There's been, is that something that she took later and the Wi-Fi picked it up and it just uploaded? You can take a photo, and at a certain point, and until you get Wi-Fi long enough for it to completely upload, it won't upload until that time. If abducted, who had a motive to abduct her? Good question. Good question.
I just don't know.
Autumn is asking you. You happened to mention a video that you had seen of Candace showing the Summer and the.
Okay.
Autumn is asking you. You happened to mention a video that you had seen of Candace showing the Summer and the boys were swimming.
Here it is.
Do you know, was that all of her boys, or was that the young boy we were talking about?
The video I saw was of Summer and her 3 brothers, but not the other young man.
Was it from that day or from a totally separate time that you'd seen that video?
That's that video that she showed me was the day she showed me that day that Summer went missing.
Okay. Did she say it was taken that day or it was taken a different day?
Yes, ma'am. It was taken that day.
Okay.
They had gone out there swimming.
Okay.
Someone in chat had asked because
Oh, my nose is itching. Sorry.
there's a rumor going around that Grandma Candace had left town. Is she?
There is a part of that interview where he says that he showed, or Candace showed, that those pictures of the boys and Summer from that day where they were swimming to him and a police officer. The son is in the picture Candace posted. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, they would have had to get metadata for that, but what he's saying is Candace is telling, if you take a picture, the same day you take the picture or the video, when you show someone a couple hours later, it's from that day. Now, again, he could be confused. He may not be confused. They may have not had their story straight. I don't know. But it's interesting nonetheless. And who was the guy talking? His name was David Dodson. Let me find something here. 1 second. I think. Oh, maybe you texted to me. I see. Also, I believe there is an interview with Jay for Justice that Dawn had done in the early days. I could be wrong. Thank you, Dynamite. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Really helps out the channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, my dear. That Dawn, I could be wrong on this, but if you go to Jay for Justice, she did an interview with Dawn in the early days, and I think he said that the boys were swimming with Summer, or with Summer too that day. So I don't know. That's another thing. But yeah, I'll if you go back in my live in the last probably 1 or 2 lives ago, I show the photo of where Summer had very short hair, right before she went missing. This had to be very close to when she went missing. And it shows that her brothers have long hair, and Allie confirmed that earlier. So, yep. Smiley, you need to rewind and replay. Isn't that funny how that happens, Justice Jane? I am one of the few YouTubers who has never had Dawn on my program, nor do I want Dawn on my program. You are not going to get hardly anything out of this man in the last 2 years. You got to stick with basically what they said in the beginning. The fact that Don and Candace are not cooperating with law enforcement, TBI and FBI, and Cold Case Foundation, that speaks volumes that are still suspect and have not been cleared. Yeah, if you are parents of a missing 5-year-old and you haven't been cleared in 2 years and you're not cooperating with the investigation and you've lost every child that you have ever created, and people still don't think you're a suspect, and parents have been in and out of jail. By the way, Don said today on a program, and I had said this the other day, when he had gotten out of jail, we said, Don, you might want to check and see if your license had been suspended. And he said on a program, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but that his license had been suspended and he had to pay some of his fines up to get his license reinstated. So I had figured his license was, so he had gotten at least pulled over or something to get his, for his license to know that his license were revoked. Don was on today already. Yes, he was on somewhere. I can't remember. He wanted donations to pay it. Yeah. No. Listen, you had 4 kids. You don't have any. If Summer was to, be found and be safe and fine, alive, she wouldn't go to Don and Candace, even right now. They don't have rights to any kids. And they may have, or it's coming quickly, that they won't have them at all. There's a lot of characters involved. So yeah, what's he doing with all that work money? Well, I think he is probably, in my opinion, pumping it up his nose, which is, throwing it down the hatch, drinking. And that's that. Candace said she got a new griddle, or a new kind of hot skillet, and that someone gave her a pan, a skillet. Like, what are y'all doing with your money? Like, what are you doing with your money? Like, Candace cooks? Yeah, Candace cooks. She can cook. She can cook. So that they will not eat dollar store frozen pizza. No, she said actually Marie Callender is her best friend. And she's tired of living on that. If I ate that, I would have a stroke because my blood pressure would be sky high. Yeah, let's go, Grace. Yeah. Door delivery. Oh, yeah. dumpster daisies over there flashing their Cash App and everything. Absolutely. Yep. Grandma Kenny's still MIA. I guess Don can cook on a spoon. Right, Janet? Probably not wrong about that. Yes, Lisa, they are full of sodium. I would die. I would literally, if I ate 2 of those meals, I would die of a stroke. I don't know how people eat them all the time. Yeah. Well, he was doing, what was he doing the other day? He was doing a deal, and the Mexicans that was there, they were like, "Hey, come on, you want to get high?" And Don's like, I told him, "Oh, no bueno, I don't do that anymore. I don't do that." And you're just like, "Oh, you're so full of shit on a shingle." It's like, dude. Yeah. But just 5 seconds ago, I don't know, someone sent me the clip, and I'm just like, whatever. Thank you, Romy. Oh, we're at 666 likes. We need someone to hit we need to get it up. No, I wouldn't send them any money. No. No. If I, I've sent other parents cases that I worked on money, but I don't. The thing with me is, and I was probably the first one to say it like this, even if Don and Candace aren't guilty of anything, according to Summer's disappearance, they are still incredibly crappy individuals. Actually, I was going to show it today. I didn't even dig it out, but I was going to show where Don actually lost his son custody, Don Jr., who because he was going to prison. So they obviously took custody away from him. And that, and the thing is, maybe, like I said, I do temporary foster care, and I've worked with plenty of CPS agents and agencies and all that. And there are people who, they get addicted to drugs or whatever, and they really fight really hard to get their kids back. And, many of them stay clean, or they'll stay clean a few years or whatever. But Don and Candace, and they'll get their kids back, and they'll do really good. And thank God for their kids that they do that. But then there is the ones, Don and Candace. Oh, thank you, SEU. That absolutely, out of all of their kids, have never got a single kid back. Never. Out of all of their kids. Okay. Thank you, ICU. Let me show you this. So this is Patricia Dawn, and let me find it here. This is a website, or never mind. Minor Donald Wesley Wells. This is before the court on the petition of the appointment of guardian of a minor. Courts finds that it's a jurisdiction and that it is in the best interest of the minor child to grant this petition. Record to reflect that there is not a signed consent by the father. By petitioners indicate that the father is aware of the proceedings and has no objection. Court grants petition and orders Donald, this is Donald Wells Jr., and where was it? Patricia Wells be appointed as guardians of Donald Wesley Wells. It's the third. I always thought he was the second. Court indicates that the father could challenge this petition as no formal consent was signed, order signed in the open court. Hold on. Is this Donald Wells Jr.'s son? No, it's Donald Wells Jr. Yep, this is Don. I missed something. What did I miss? Something dinged a minute ago. What did I miss? I don't know if somebody became a member. Okay. Sepsis, thank you, my love, for the super sticker. Thank you. Very kind. Yes, thank you so much for your donation. It helps out tremendously right now. Yeah, so this is where Don has physical file is destroyed, file available is electronic format. And this was in, I think, 2000. Yeah. Signed October 29th, 2002. Findings of fact and conclusions of law. Probate hearing. I guess he had to pay something as well. Interesting. Did know what was the question? I think Candace wanted to get rid of the children and did what she could. Yeah, Summer saved her parents, or parents, God. Summer saved her brothers. That is for sure. And Don thinks that they have nothing. Keep thinking that, Don. Keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. She saved many. Yeah, she has, Jody, so you're right. But never underestimate the TBI, the FBI, their stealth. They'll bow, bow, bow. Just remember. No. Cheryl, the boys, they have a home. They lived in a trap house, a drug house. Now they live in
Hey y'all, let me see. It froze. Guys, I'm back. um, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I may be back later this evening. After I get some of my work done and all that. Maybe 10 or 11 tonight. We'll see, Eastern time. Thank you all so much for joining me. I do appreciate your time. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'll see you guys on the next one. Love y'all. Bye-bye.